we're going to make another class called cell. So how should we describe this? Defines a cell in a tic-tac-toe game board. Alright, so for the cell class, did I do that in the first one? I just want to be consistent. For the cell class, you could actually do this whole program just within here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. What the heck did I do? Hold on one second. There we go. Sorry. For this whole thing, you could really establish all these classes within this one file. I think it's a little easier for you guys to understand if we do it all in separate files. So just keep that in mind. So this cell class is going to extend JPanel because it's going to, each cell is going to be a JPanel in itself. Extends JPanel, and we also need to import our same things from this one. We don't need the line border though. Actually, we don't need event in this one. The event should go in the next one. So we'll import event. Actually, I think we need that. Oh, no, we can put it after the package. So we'll import that. We'll import AWT, and then swing. So it's underlining those right now because we have not used them yet, except for JPanel uses swing. Alrighty, so we're going to make each cell is going to be a JPanel. We'll use token of this cell. We'll make that a character, private character. And each one by default is going to have a space because it's going to be an empty cell. Now we need to make our constructor so that the other Java file will stop giving us that error, and it can know how to. Oh, I guess we do need border after all. So let's go ahead and import line border. Line border. We'll make this one black because we want each of the cells to be black and 1 pixel long again. We will add a mouse listener. Now this is getting into the complex world of event handling. A mouse listener is basically going to listen for a mouse click or mouse movement. In this case, it's going to be a mouse click on the cell. And when the mouse does click on the cell, we're just going to make our own. We'll have something occur that'll change the cell state. We'll get back to that in a bit. So we will make a, that'll be the end of our, oops. That's the end of our constructor. Oops. My phone's ringing again. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Ugh. The one time everybody wants to call me, it's during a video. Alright, so we added a mouse. Okay, so that finishes off our constructor. We'll add a little Javadoc there. Constructor. What else do we need here? We're going to need a function to get the token in each cell. So public, it's going to return a character. So we'll just return, it's easy enough, return token. So it's just going to return whatever character is in each cell. And then we need a function to set the character for each cell. So we'll do a void. I probably didn't explain this as well as I should have. This right here is the security of the function, and you'll see it on the data too. Oh my gosh, another phone call. Sorry. Okay, so this is the security. So public means any class outside of this package, inside this package, can access it. Void and character are the return values, so whatever the function will return. Very basic programming lingo and elements there. And then our parameter here is going to be a character. We'll just call it C. So, oops. If token, oh, we're just setting the token. So token is going to be equal to C now. This is assigned C. And then we're going to repaint the cell. And we're going to describe how to repaint in a minute. I'm going to add some Javadoc here for these functions. Oof, my cell's ringing again. It's a text message at least this time. Popular guy today. Alright, So let's see, we're going to make a gets token of the cell, returns the token value of the cell. It's just sets the token of the cell. And this is a character to use as token value. Alrighty, so when we use the repaint function, we have to override a method that's present in all swing components called a paint component. So that little override tag there, it's underlined because it does not. You could make this method without putting that override tag there, but if you do, and you press Alt-Enter, well, it will show us to remove that. But what it does is it checks to make sure that you overrided it correctly. So override versus, well, let's not get into that. Basically, when you override a function, you're just providing a different, you're using the same function name and the same parameters. You're just establishing a different body for the function. Don't worry if you're a beginner about all the underpinnings of that, but I definitely recommend you read up on the difference between the override and overload, especially if you're getting into Java, because it's a very, very important concept. The super keyword here means that we're going to call the parent class's paint component method first and foremost. We're going to pass it the same graphics object G. Like I said, Java's pretty high level. This is a lot of stuff that's happening under the hood. You don't need to worry about it from a programmer's standpoint, programming your application, but you do need to remember to call the super.paint component first and foremost. The protected keyword just means that, I don't want to get the security wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is any subclass and any class in the same package can access that method, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong on that. There's a lot of different details that go into the public versus protected versus private labels there. Alright, so if the token is an X, notice that one equal sign is the assignment statement, so we made token equal to C up here. We assigned C to token. We use two equal sign to evaluate whether two things are equal. So if token equals the character X, then we're going to draw an X using the graphics package. So we use the drawLine function. We need the X coordinate of the line, the first part of the line. So we'll just make it 10, 10. The width of the panel we can get with getWidth minus 10, and then getHeight minus 10. So that'll draw a line, one part of the X in the panel or the cell, and then, oops, I need to make this bracketed. If you have just one line like this, if this was our only line, you could leave it like that, but if you have an if statement or a while loop or a for loop, you need to put in brackets if you have more than one line or more than one statement. So G.drawLine. And as you saw when I typed in G, it had a bunch of suggestions for what different methods I could use. The other way you could do that is docs.oracle.com. You can look at any object or any class in the Java API, and this website has every single thing you could want to know about the class. It has all the methods you can use with it, all the data it uses, it has details. And at the end of the tutorial, I'll show you how Javadoc can kind of compile the same thing for us. So we'll get to that in a bit. So we need to draw the other part of the X, 10, 10, and then getHeight is 10. Alrighty. Else, if the token is an O, we need to draw an oval. It has a draw oval function in the swing classes. 10, 10, getWidth minus 20. And I'm pretty sure that we do minus, okay, that's the height of the circle, so we want it minus 20. Alrighty, and that is our paint component override. Can we add, I guess we don't really need to add a, oops, I forgot to put my parentheses there. When you call a function, you need the parentheses, or else the NetBeans doesn't know what you're talking about. Alright, so that's pink component. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make an inner class, a private inner class, to establish what this myMouseListener will do. So we're going to establish what happens when a cell is clicked by the mouse. There's a class called MouseAdapter that's in the swing classes, or the AWT classes maybe. Yeah, it's the AWT.event class. And so what we're going to do is we're going to override the mouse clicked function, lowercase. Alright, so if the cell is empty and the game is not over, so if token is a space, and notice we use the double ampersand for and too. A single ampersand means the bitwise and, which is something completely different. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but just know that you need to use the double ampersand. And the other sign that we have not seen yet is this exclamation point equals, which is not equal. So whose turn is not equal to that. Oh, but we don't know what whose turn is. So what we need to do is, back in Tic-Tac-Toe, I believe we had character whose turn. So we need to make a method here. Let's think about how we can do this, because in the original program I have all this is in one big class. So we need to make a little, here's what we'll do. Okay, I think we finally have this all figured out. What I had to do is I deleted the cell file, and we're going to put it all in, oops, we need to move this in here. Refactor. We had to put the cell class within the Tic-Tac-Toe frame so that we could access the whose turn and make it easy on ourselves. I tried to make it static at first. Didn't want to do that. It made things really, really messy. So we're just going to put cell as an inner class within the Tic-Tac-Toe frame.java. All we had to do is copy and paste the code we had already written for cell and put it right here in the Tic-Tac-Toe frame.java class. So now we can get back to checking the game status. To check the game status, we need to use the is1. So we'll pass the token. If is1 token, or I'm sorry, whose turn. Then we need to set the status as whose turn plus. What this does is it makes whatever value of whose turn is, which is a character, and then adds it to the string 1, game over. So just do that. Oops, I have a comma here for no reason. Need to game over. And then we need to make sure that whose turn equals that, so to indicate the game's over. Else, if it's full, so is full, then the game is a tie, so we need to do JLabel status set text over. That'll do. And then whose turn again will equal the space. Else, we need to change whose turn it is. So whose turn equals. This is a funky looking syntax right here, so I'll explain it after we're done typing the whole thing out. It's pretty cool what it does though. So basically this is like a shorthand for an if statement. So it says if whose turn equal, wait, do I have it yet? This question mark means if whose turn equals x. If yes, then we need to then set whose turn equal to O, else, this colon, else, set it to x. So basically, if it's x's turn, we're going to switch it to O's turn, and if it's O's turn, we're going to switch it to x's turn. Alright, and then JLabel status.setText whose turn plus, oops. Any errors? No, great. Alright, so that ends the let's see, that's the mouse listener class. Oh, we need to import mouse event. What I did there is I just press Alt Enter to import. What's it? Mouse event. Oh, there it is. Nope. We need to import mouse event. Oh, we didn't import AWT in here. Dot all packages in the event package. That should take care of that error. What's this up here? We need to import line border. That takes care of that error. What's this? My mouse listener. Oh, we need my mouse listener. And then that'll end class. I think I put, oh, never mind. Get that, okay, so that gets that. Need to make sure our brackets are all lined up. Okay, that. Need another one for the cell class. And another one for the, oops. Let's try that again. Is that the one? Yep. And save it all and see if we have any errors. We do not. We should be good to run this thing and play the game. But first, big part of it, we need to go back to our main class, and all our main function is going to do is set up our frame or window for us. So we're going to establish, we need to import the swing JFrame. So JFrame, so we can work with the functions. JFrame Tic-Tac-Toe equals new Tic-Tac-Toe frame. Remember that Tic-Tac-Toe frame extends JFrame. So if you try to, if you establish it as type JFrame, then it will, the Java runtime environment, sorry, I'm very bad at trying to explain this in a way everyone will understand. The Java runtime environment will see that, hey, Tic-Tac-Toe frame extends JFrame, therefore we can establish it as of type JFrame. And we can use all the methods on it, so Tic-Tac-Toe dot set title. This is like if NetBeans was a frame, the title would be up here, this Tic-Tac-Toe dash NetBeans IDE 8.0. So we'll just say Phantom Tic-Tac-Toe game! Exclamation point, because we're excited. Some other housekeeping things we need to do is set we'll set the size to be 600 by 600. We'll see how that looks. Oops, I put a capital O in there. We'll make sure that Tic-Tac-Toe dot set default close operation is JFrame exit on close. That's a constant that the JFrame class has. Basically, this function here makes it so that when you click this red X up here, it'll close. You can have other things happen when you do that, like those annoying programs like Skype where you press the X button and they minimize. But for ours, we'll keep it so that it closes. We'll set the location. What that does is basically just puts our frame right in the middle of the screen, or maybe it might start up here actually. And then the last thing we're going to do is Tic-Tac-Toe set visible. We definitely want it to be visible. Set visible to true. That should take care of us. Let's see if we can run it on the first try. So it's compiling, it's building. You see the run up here. Alright, so that actually looks pretty good. That was a good size, 600 by 600. So we have all the, let's walk through this real fast. We have our title up here first of all, so you can see that. If we minimize it, the minimize and maximize work. Let's walk through here. Whose turn? It's X's turn first. We can see that in our J label. You can see kind of the thin red border here and the thin yellow border there. It's very subtle. Our panel has been set up. So each of these cells is a panel in itself. And we also have this giant panel right here. And the J label, or the J status label, is in its own panel as well. So it's not full. We don't need to worry about this stuff. So let's look at the cell. The cell, they have black borders, 1 pixel thick. They have mouse listeners, so once we click on it, it should make an X. It does. Now the label has changed. It's O's turn. Do that. X's turn. There. O's going to respond. We can go on like this. Let's see where we go with this. If any of them will win, we'll call it a draw. So tie game, game over. Nothing happens. The board is off because we disabled it. Alright, so now we exit out. It closes correctly. Build successful. Let's try it again. We'll try to get a win this time. X, 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 X1. The game is over. But you see a little flaw in their code is you can keep playing even after X is 1, which is weird. I was wondering about that. So maybe let's come up with a way to make sure that we cannot access that. So let me think for a second. We'll get back to you. Alright, so here's what we're going to try. So we're going to make a let's make it in the Tic-Tac-Toe frame. We'll make a private boolean called game over. I'm just doing this live, guys. I have no idea if this will work, but this is one solution. So that'll do. We'll go back down to mouse listener, and if game over is true, or actually you could write it like this. You can actually write with booleans, you can actually write if game over because it'll evaluate the true. If the game is over, we'll just return. Won't do anything. Otherwise, if token, so if the game is won, we'll set game over to true. We'll do the same if the thing is full. And let's see if that makes it so that once we stop playing, it won't let us click anymore. It's odd that the original code didn't have something like that. So now the X1 is game over. We can't click on anything. That was a very simple solution to our problem. Looks like everything's good. Let's test to see if it works if it's full. We need to make sure no one wins though. Okay. Yep. Works great. And like I said, the minimize and everything works fine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Phantom Tic-Tac-Toe game. I'm very sorry for the constant interruptions. I felt very scrambled during this tutorial because I kept getting calls and everything. It's been a very, very hectic week over here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I will make sure that I post the code where you can see it. I'll leave a little link in the description. I think no, maybe not. My spacing might be off for a little bit of this. You can change the author and everything to be yourself. In fact, let me just get rid of these author tags. Well, I'll do that afterwards. We'll leave it in for now because I want to show you now what the Javadoc does for this. So let's go here, generate Javadoc, right click. Actually, do we need, yeah, I guess, okay, we'll right click, generate Javadoc. It's very cool what you can do with Javadoc. It builds your page for you, so as long as you're very good at documenting your methods and your classes, see, it brings us our class, our two classes actually. Tic-Tac-Toe shouldn't have much in it. It's got a main method for us. It tells us what arguments we made. We go back to the next class, and it shows us all the things, all the hierarchy of classes we have here. Let's see here. It shows us all the methods we have, the Javadoc comment. So in this, when we set determine if game board is full for is full, that text shows up right here. And then all the return values, so we establish that right here, true if game board is full, otherwise false, shows up here. So we have our own little documentation for that little program we made, and Javadoc generates all of this useful information that other programmers can use. Say you're releasing this to the public, you get all this awesome information. Speaking of releasing, I guess one thing I should address is how to build this into an EXE, and the answer is you probably shouldn't. There are ways to make Java into EXE, but the most common way, not the most common way, but the only way I can see we can make something like this accessible as an exe file would be to make a little wrapper for it, and that's something that professional programmers would do. But for this tutorial, I'm not going to go into how to run it on other computers. What you can do is just download the Java JDK or NetBeans. You just download NetBeans on another computer, and you can run it just like that from NetBeans or Eclipse or whatever IDE you use. I believe when you download Java, there's also a command line utility you could use to do that. But I'll leave that for you to research if you want to make this or adjust this game to your own liking, and you want to release it to your friends or something. Do some Googling, find out how you can get that exe working so you can send it or email it or Google Drive it to your friends. I'm not going to go into that because it's a very complicated can of worms to open. But I hope you guys followed all of this. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments. I count on my viewers to answer a lot of comments, my viewers with more experience. But I do try to answer as many as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm very, very dry mouth, cotton mouth right now. I'm going to get out of here, but I thank you so much for joining me. We'll get back to games and our usual stream of walkthroughs tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes, tomorrow. I have lots and lots of suggestions to get through, and we need to make a dent in them. For now, I am Phantom Darkness 135. This was a tutorial in Java. I thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy your Tic-Tac-Toe game, and I will see you later. I am out of here. See you guys.